Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello people and welcome to Footy Judgment. Welcome to Grumpy Husam in the middle, who's the latest one on the stream, but he's so grumpy that he started screaming and yelling. Of course, we have She Knows Arsenal. Jessica Black is here, repping Arsenal. Staffy TV is here, talking about Rashford and how he loves Rashford and Rashford to stay at Man United. Kilk with their Manchester City props, of course, Kevin De Bruyne is staying, guys, at Manchester City. It is confirmed that they're going to renew his contract. And Olo, of course, the biggest Arteta defender here on this platform, of course. Olo, of course, the biggest Arteta defender on this platform. But this is a very objective panel, apart from Husam, of course, who is here, of course, with the controversial takes. Why are you smiling?
I'm not grumpy at all. I'm smiling. I'm dancing in the background. You saw me dancing. Why would I be upset?
You came to the stream so grumpy. It is unbelievable.
Okay, guys, let me tell the chat. Can I tell the chat?
Go
Guys,
on.
he was trying to brief us. He was like, oh my God, guys, we are going to talk about this topic today. Ya habibi, all of us have done content before. Khalas, come live. Come, let's talk about steak and eggs. Who cares? Yani, yalla, let's make content. Pick up everyone locked in. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. But before we get started, Mo, I want to ask you a question. Before we get to your topics that you were briefing us about. I have a question. What was the result of your game yesterday?
3-0.
Who scored the hat-trick?
Lautaro Martinez.
Oh,
Are you going to apologize to Lautaro?
You can't be trusted. You can't be trusted.
Are you going to apologize?
Okay, Jess, would you take Lautaro Martinez at your club?
No. Just don't fall for his trap.
Would you take Lautaro Martinez at your club?
You're going to apologize to Lautaro. Are you going to apologize?
Why would I apologize to him?
If you don't apologize to him, we're all going to turn off our cameras and we're not going to do the stream.
Why do you think I
If you do not apologize, you know what?
Apologize
My camera's off. Everyone turn off your camera. I'm not doing the show.
Turn off your cameras. We are protesting. Jess, come on. We're doing a protest. Apologize to Lautaro now. Apologize to him right now.
Turn off your camera.
Turn it off. Apologize to Lautaro.
What is this pressure, bro?
All you do,
yeah, you can put a price on it.
Apologize. Apologize.
It's
too late. Apologize.
It's your turn. Apologize.
This is bro. This is blackmail.
Say it with me. I'm sorry.
This is bullying.
It's not blackmail. We're doing it in front of everyone.
Bullying me on my own channel, bro. They're bullying me on my channel.
Yes, we
Why
are.
would I apologize?
Sorry, or there's no show.
He scored a hat-trick against Monaco.
Okay, Lautaro, I was wrong about you yesterday, and you scored a hat-trick. Thank you for making us top 8. Is that good enough? Is that good enough?
All right. We'll accept that.
Like
Accountability. Good job, Mo.
Mo, I'm still with you. He's just going V2, but let's not go into that.
Yeah, here we go. Of course, someone had to ruin it.
Anyway,
I hate Lautaro, so that's just me.
You know the difference between me and you, Sam, is that I can say that my team play well. We conceded 1 goal and we have a very good shot. We can win the Champions League. Can you say the same about your team who's top of the league, top of the Champions League?
طيب.
Huh? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, tell the people. Yes, go ahead. He's saying what? Can you have a chest about your team? We're not signing anyone. Inter are not signing anyone.
About my team.
Yeah, anyway. Where do we start?
Champions League?
Since you are in the middle and you have footy judge Mo, right? Avatar, where do we start?
Where do we
My
start?
team, so that's not here the whole stream.
City, yeah, because Kel has to leave, and you're so rude. She has to leave in 15 minutes. So ask about City first.
No, you missed it. I'm going to stay 15 extra minutes because I
see,
already
30
checked into my
minutes.
flight and I have TSA pre-check.
Before
And
I
there's
go
also
on,
nobody who lives here, so.
let me do this. Big up Nafisa, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you so much. Everyone hit that like button, guys. We got over 200 people who are just starting. Hit that like button, people. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Of course, and Nguni here is big enough. Jess, most underrated Arsenal YouTuber. She's not underrated. She's great. Like, what do you mean underrated? She's great. What are you talking about? She's objective. She's not underrated. She's great. She's absolutely fantastic. But big up everybody.
Tevin
start
is on
with
the chat, by the way. He was on the terrace yesterday. He was so rattled.
Hold on, he's on the terrace.
Yeah, he was on
Why
the
is he
actual.
rattled? Why was he rattled?
So annoyed at everything I said about heritage and stuff, but I don't want to get into it. I'll annoy
But
him.
you don't
later.
have
Let
heritage
Kel
in
go
the
first.
Champions League. When we come to Arsenal, we'll
Yeah,
talk
let
about
Kel
it.
go first. I don't want to
Let's
annoy
start
him.
with the Manchester City chances. Hamza put his chest yesterday and said he has bigger chance of winning the Champions League with than Arsenal. I don't want to bring it to Arsenal.
It sounds like Hamza.
Kel just told me off the camera that Pep Guardiola has said that he's intending to register Rodri in the second half of the Champions League, by the way.
Oh
In
my
the-
goodness.
Terrible idea. Terrible idea.
Why
That
is
is the
terrible
one-
idea?
I want to fuck up their rehab. Because as you can tell, our team has imploded without him. So why put yourself in that position to have this
To
happen
win the
again?
Champions League? To try to win it?
Oh, we're not winning the Champions League. Are you guys on crack? No. Hamza has his own opinion. He and I don't agree that often. Our chances of winning the Champions League evaporated on September 22nd. We're not winning the Champions League without Rodri. It's just not happening. He's just too important to our team. And we have proof of this because Pep didn't start him in the 2021 final. And guess what happened? He didn't start a DM period. And guess what happened? We lost. And then he started Rodri the next time and we won. So
I am saying City are not in contention to win the Champions League. They are there, but I don't think that they are 6th or 7th or something. Does anybody disagree with me?
Advancing from the playoff if we get Real Madrid. I don't know where this like positivity has come from. I just accept this season for what it is. It's okay. Well, they've started addressing some of the issues. It's going to take time to kind of hammer them out, and I think next season we'll be ready to win the whole everything. So I accept this season for not being very good. But we don't have a midfield. We're not winning the Champions League with no midfield. You think Gundogan at age 34 and De Bruyne at age 34 are going up against Valverde and Bellingham and Camavinga and advancing through that? No, because I think it's destiny that we're drawing Real Madrid. They're the new Shakhtar Donetsk. We just play them every season now, so we're not going to beat them with our midfield. We don't have a midfield.
It's not even the midfield. Your back line is gonna get absolutely destroyed when you play them because your high line against Vinny and Mbappe. I mean, it's gonna be a good game for us to watch because it's probably gonna end like 5-4 when it does happen, or like 6-5. It's gonna be full of goals. One team that's better coached, which is you guys, versus a team that's kind of freestyling, but they have all the pace up front.
Who's a better coach?
We also don't have any fullbacks at this point.
They are better coach. Let's not do this.
In the Champions League, Carlo Ancelotti is the top coach in these knockout stages. He's the best in the history.
Carlo Ancelotti hasn't coached a better game than Pep in years. What are we doing here? They can win a game, but he doesn't coach better games than.
But that's the whole point of coaching the game.
I disagree. I think in the Champions League specifically, I take Carlo because he allows the players to like do their own thing. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, and
which I think is more valuable. Just UCL, purely only UCL. What
are we talking about? Last year, didn't they have like 70% possession against them, and they beat them?
Yeah, and who won the Champions League in the end?
I'm not saying that they won't beat them. Like, if anything, I'm gonna put if I could choose to put my money on one team, I'll probably put it on Madrid. But that doesn't mean that every time they meet, Pep doesn't coach a better game. Like he does coach his team better. There's just sometimes the quality of Madrid just wins him the game. That's all it is.
No,
They
I
always
just
have two
Go ahead.
players that just destroy us. Vinny and Rodrigo. Rodrigo,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
that guy destroys us every time we play him. I mean, he just always scores against City. So
No, I've
Yeah.
seen Morgan Rogers kill your what's it called? Your back line, your high line in the Premier League.
line.
I can only imagine what Vinny and Mbappe are gonna do.
Yeah, you don't have a
That's
fullback.
all it is.
We have nobody because we
Yeah,
got rid of Walker. He was our only
You're gonna
fullback.
put Mathys Nunes on Vinny?
2025. No
Be a
Man City
Kanji.
fan should do Walker prop. Like it's 2025. Like just like forget this Walker talk. Walker
No,
thing. You
Walker's-
got
Thank
is
you,
dead.
Walker, but have fun in Milan. Addition by
I'm
subtraction.
not. If I face City in the knockout stages at Inter, I'm not scared.
No,
I'm not
nobody's
going to say
scared.
that we're definitely going to win, but I think that we can beat City. In the knockout stages, I think. If, by the way, there is one more thing. I said if Arsenal beat City, based on the recent history, when Arsenal going to the Etihad and not losing, or why are you shaking your head?
Who's shaking
What?
his head?
She's shaking her head. I just mentioned
not.
Arsenal. She's shaking his head.
No,
I believe that Arsenal can beat City in the knockout stages. It's all about
Yeah.
that
Right
one
now,
game that
probably,
Arteta
yeah.
can coach. Yes, it's all about that one game that Arteta can coach to defend. He can go to the Etihad and come out with a draw. What?
Yeah, you're right.
Spurs beat City.
You're
I
right.
mean,
Like it's literally happened 2 seasons in a row.
You're right. I'm traumatized by my team right now. So if you told me that we could beat Southampton, I'd probably be like, "What do you mean?" Like I'm traumatized. Okay.
I think
Wow,
in the
what are you
knockout stages,
traumatized
Arsenal
about? Your
can beat
team-
City.
Fine.
Different. Like,
Have you
listen,
ever-
like,
why are you
Yeah.
traumatized? You won like 2 games in a row.
Are you already freaking out over Sunday?
Did you see Raheem?
Relax.
We'll talk about Arsenal later, but did you?
Yeah,
see
we'll talk
Raheem
about Arsenal
Sterling?
later.
I didn't watch. To be honest, I didn't watch a minute. I only watched Nwaneri's goal yesterday. That's the only thing I watched.
All
I was
I'll say
watching
is,
my team.
before we come back to City, all I'm going to say is this. If you have Raheem Sterling in your team in 2025, your coach needs to be seriously examined in the head. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh my
I
That's
thought
how-
Mo, you said you're the Arteta defender. Was he lying?
Mo just
Maybe
said
he
words.
switched, bro. Maybe he switched, bro. Oh
See,
my
Mo,
god.
this is why when we cook you and we say you're a fraud
Yeah,
judge,
Habibi, I've been doing
This is-
shows with this guy for about 2.5 years.
Actually, I don't
He
watch
has
every
been
show you guys do,
defending
so
the-
I took your word
He has
serious.
been defending the project and the Arteta progress thing for a while. Husam knows this.
I'm just very logical.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I
listen,
I say things
Mo
for
is
the
a fraud, but Olu is definitely the biggest Arteta guy in the universe.
I am not.
The number 2, I'm gonna say the number 2. Martin is number 1 and Olo number 2. Just say that.
I don't know where you get this from.
I think
What do
Olu
you
loves
mean?
I believe you on the Martin point.
I feel attacked right now. I feel attacked. I'm serious. I might just switch off. So I'm sorry.
We should
No,
set up a poll. Who likes Arteta more, Arteta's wife or Olu? I think we will have very close call. We'll have very close call.
As long as I get part of his,
I'd say
13
Olu,
million
bro.
a year, then that's fine. Anyways, back to Man City, man. Come on.
But we all agree that Man City this season.
No, we don't all agree. You are a fraud, okay?
No.
Manchester City-
Yeah, Habibi, let me put the
Okay, let me
statement out.
disagree then. Let me disagree. You just
I
want to
didn't
shout?
even. I was talking
You're
about the
so
league.
angry
What was
because
the
Lautaro
point?
scored a hat trick. He's your own player. Why are you angry at your own
I'd
player?
love to know
You
what we're
apologize
agreeing
to
or
Lautaro.
disagreeing on.
Anyway, back to the
See
topic.
exactly, Staffy. Like I want to know
I
what
don't
is he
even know. Like, I
disagreeing on.
can't say yes or no because
I didn't even say a word. I didn't even say
Okay,
anything.
You made the statement that City can't win the Champions League. That's
I
what
think
you're
they're an
saying.
outsider. Yes.
Okay, no problem. Now I will say that they're not an outsider. I'll tell you why.
What?
Manchester
Let me tell you.
City have game changers. Whether we like it or not, in the Champions League, what gets you through is game changers. It's not a league format anymore. It's now knockout stages. Knockout stages equal jeopardy. Jeopardy equal I need a world-class player to get me through a shit game. Like Mane did before for us, like Salah did before for us, like Van Dijk did before for us. When the Champions League semi-finals started against Roma at Anfield, within the first half, Salah scored 2 goals. We were 2-0 up, and it lifted the pressure off all of the players, and then we started playing our football, and then we were 5-0 up. You need game changers. You need people who can take the game by the scruff of the neck. Do Manchester City have that? Yes. So I cannot rule them out. As long as Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne and their players who are experienced Champions League winners are there, I can never rule them out. As a matter of fact, I think most people on this panel would agree Liverpool have probably been the best team in Europe this season. Everyone, this is not an edgy opinion to have. Top of the Premier League and top of the Champions League. However, when it comes to Liverpool Football Club, one of the clubs that I do not want to face in the knockout stages is Manchester City. People will say, oh, why? Why would you rather face Arsenal than Man City in the Champions League? Yes, of course I would, because it's a different setting. Like if I'm playing Arsenal at the Emirates in Premier League, I'm more worried than City at the Etihad in Premier League. Why? Because it's a Premier League setting. Settings sometimes define these conversations. If I'm going away to the Emirates in a Champions League setting and the Champions League music is playing, it's a different game. It's a completely different game. It becomes a game of moments. It becomes a game of who can make something out of nothing. Perfect example is Arsenal against Bayern Munich last season. I'm not taking a shot at Arsenal. I'm simply genuinely giving you guys honest facts. Last season against Bayern Munich had the worst version of them we have ever seen in our life. In our lifetime, factually and like even eye test wise. Okay. But they had no difference makers. They had no one that can just take the game by the scruff of the neck. Okay, Bayern, you're crap. Let me beat you today. And I'm going to do this and that and we're going to beat. But that just doesn't happen. So with Man City, until they're out, I can't rule them out. That's just the reality. And it's the same with Madrid.
I just want to say one.
Your club, as an example.
De Bruyne, you can tell it doesn't have the legs anymore. Right. He just doesn't.
Right.
If you, I'm sure you weren't watching the game yesterday, but his body just cannot do what his mind is trying to do.
He didn't look good. Yeah.
So he looks better with runners around him, and we have runners now. But Pep decided to play the grandpas. It was Grandpa FC in the midfield.
To be honest,
when you start Bernardo, Kova, Gundo, and KDB, that's like 130 years of life, right? That's just a lot. That's just 150.
Yeah, but Kel, I'm saying you're gonna register Omar Mermoush for the second half of the season. Obviously, you're gonna register a couple more center backs. I believe they weren't eligible to play yesterday.
Yeah, they were ineligible.
No, they're not. It's the first round.
I've heard they're allowed to play in the playoff, though.
Yeah,
they are.
There will be.
They're not allowed. Yeah,
exactly.
Yes.
For the second half,
going to take De Bruyne's minutes, I think, and it'll be
that's what I'm saying. Like
they'll
play in the second half.
In my opinion, it's Savio, Foden, Marmoush, and KDB, and I think KDB is going to be the one who misses out most of the time because Marmoush is just fresher. I didn't realize this about Marmoush, but he's only played like 10 or 11,000 professional minutes. So he has a lot of legs. He has a lot of gas in the tank from
he spent a lot of time
anyway. So he does not have a lot of wear and tear on his legs. So he could probably go for a long time.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time on the bench for Wolfsburg until he went to
at a young age. So he didn't screw up his development like some of the younger players.
He's one of those that's peaking at a good age. Like he's 25 now.
Yeah,
so he's peaking at a good
26 next month or something. But that's like the perfect age profile that I think this team needed because we have a lot of the really old people, we have a lot of the really young people. We have barely anybody in that 24 to 28ish range. So
I agree.
That was
I want to call out Husam for
something. Part of the signing.
Let me call out Husam for something. Husam once again is being a fraud, but that's nothing new. I mean, Husam's always a fraud. Husam tried to sit here and tell us that he'd rather face a team that only conceded 3 goals in the whole Champions League competition this season than a team that conceded 14 goals. You're not going to lie to us. I don't care about you sitting there and listening to the anthem before the game kicks off. You don't win or lose games by listening to a song before the game starts. That's not how it works. It is. I'm sorry. It's just facts. It's proven this season. I like to deal with facts. And yes, of course, there's some outside factors that we'll bring in. I don't mind that. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you know what? The team that barely made the playoffs. Yeah, you know that team that had to win in the last, not the last 90 minutes. They were losing the first 45 minutes. They were 45 minutes away from getting eliminated, the Club Brugge. Okay, so it took a very good halftime team talk from Pep to get these players to beat Club Brugge in the second half. So I'm sorry if I think it's harder to break down Arsenal in 90 minutes than it is to break down City in 90 minutes. It's true. Like, I don't want to play Arsenal in 90 minutes. Yes, I know what we're going to say. Arsenal don't have European heritage. I've heard that 1,000,001 times. But at the end of the day, when I'm looking at how they're performing in the competition this season, only Inter have a better back line than them. That's it. Only Inter conceded less goals than them.
Whatever.
And of course, I was going to sit there and celebrate, but it's true. And they don't have to play a playoff round. So they're going to have 2 less games to play. So Arsenal are going to be sitting there, reclining on their seats, one foot on the other, and just see, you love doing that. You love doing that.
What does the calculator
lie.
mean? I need to know the lore of the calculator.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm
calculator
continue.
That's a
When
really
he
old
responds,
calculator.
you guys, Jess, you will understand exactly when Husam. I know exactly what Husam's gonna go with this. When
He's
he
gonna say
responds, you're gonna
calculator
understand.
merchants.
You're gonna exactly understand what
Also,
Husam does.
Why
This
would
is
you not
bro.
want to
I'm
face
so
a
happy
team that has
Husam
no
doesn't work
midfield
for
and no
like a
back
major
line?
corporation.
Let
Because
me-
Husam was hired by a major corporation. They'd be like, "Hey, what's the data telling us?" Husam's gonna be like, "No. Forget the data. I'm gonna give you all the vibes. That's what I'm gonna give you. Oh, you need projections for next year? No, we're not gonna look at the data. We're gonna look at vibes. That's what Husam is gonna do. But go ahead,
Okay,
explain
Staffy, let me
your
respond to
calculator
you.
analogy.
Let me respond to you, Mr. Calculator. When it comes to this conversation, we are not in a company, and this is
Someone
not.
in the chat said I agree with Husam, and someone didn't say a word yet.
Bro, you know how it works. People in the chat is like, we agree with Husam. Like, Husam hasn't even responded
Someone said
yet.
I agree with Husam.
You haven't even said that word.
They're agreeing with me calling you a calculator merchant, and I'll tell you why. Look,
Yeah, go ahead.
in the Champions League, as soon as the group stage ends, it becomes a completely different conversation, a completely different competition. I can give you so many examples. Liverpool lost to Olympiacos in Greece and won the Champions League. Real Madrid lost to Sheriff Tiraspol and won the Champions League. There are so many examples of football clubs who have not done well in the group stages and then went on to the knockout stages and done really well. When it comes to the knockout stages, it's a completely different game. And it's not just about the anthem, it's about the jeopardy. Meaning, one mistake equal you're eliminated. One error equal you're eliminated. One moment where you miss a chance, you're screwed. This is the problem with this conversation. It's not a matter of me just saying, oh, Arsenal have a weaker defense than Man City. I'm looking beyond that. I'm looking at bigger things here. I'm looking at in a knockout scenario where you have to go home and then you have to go away to San Siro, away to Turin, away to whoever. These are the things that matter, Staffy, and these are the things that you need experience and game changers for. It's not a matter of who has the strongest defense. Yani we can say Arsenal do have a lot stronger defense than City in the Champions League so far. That's 100% correct statement. But do we agree that as soon as the knockout stages starts, it's a different competition? Because for me, even for my own club, I look at it that way. I don't care that we conceded.
I agree.
Before the PSV game, we had like the strongest or second strongest defense. I don't care about that if we're facing Madrid or Bayern or whoever in the knockout stages, because we have to deliver on the pitch in the moments. And this is the thing that I've been trying to explain. Champions League games in knockout stages, sometimes you have like a period of 30 minutes where really nothing is happening in the game. But then out of nowhere, Salah gets the ball and he top corner against Roma and you're 1-0 up. That's literally how you get to those positions. And with Arsenal, I'm not talking about heritage. I never mentioned heritage. I mentioned moments.
No,
I think Arsenal need
agree.
moment players.
I
Go ahead,
agree
Jess.
with that. Like, I think, like, obviously, from an Arsenal perspective, when we're playing, if there's the option to draw, we play a lot better. You know, that's why if we're playing City in the league, Liverpool in the league, good teams in the league, we usually do better because there's a fail-safe of being able to draw. If we make this mistake, there's still an opportunity for us to get something. In a knockout, you either go through or you don't. You either win or you don't. And I think that extra heightened temperature is where our brains just kind of like collapse. And that's why we're not good in cup competitions under Mikel Arteta. Like, we're just not. And historically, we have a little bit of like a weirdness in Europe. So I can understand, like, I think at this stage, City still would be a more difficult team to play in the deeper knockout rounds, just because they do have that, like Husam said, those moments we had a better defense last season and it didn't really matter because we couldn't create a moment at the Allianz Arena. We just didn't have it, and we still don't have it. And it's worse now because there's no Saka. So yeah, I totally get what Husam is saying. I think he's making a lot of sense. Yeah.
We don't have a midfield. We don't have a midfield. We don't have a back line, and we've bottled multiple leads. I don't care about the knockout stage. We are not that team this season. De Bruyne is not that guy right now. He doesn't have the legs. Yeah. So that's one difference maker gone. And all I hear about is how Haaland never scores in a final. So why you count on that?
They're talking about moments as
We're
well.
just not that team this year.
No, they're talking about
You
moments.
have the road.
You have the road.
We're not going to clamp down defensively like we did when we won the Champions League. We can't do it. Everybody's cutting through our midfield. Like Leicester destroyed us in the midfield.
No one gives the opponents more moments right now than you guys. Every time I watch a City game, there's about 5-6 moments where I'm like, oh shit, they should have conceded there. Oh shit, they could have conceded there. Now imagine that in the knockout rounds when you start facing better teams. That I'm talking about moments. You will be able to moments against City.
Can I just say something? Guys, Club Brugge could have been 2-3-0 before Man City brought it 2-1 yesterday.
That was a terrible first half.
It's the only second game I watched.
Lineup with those guys. It didn't work. It only worked when he got Savio on. He should have started Savio.
Sam has a point. Because even Real Madrid, when they didn't win the league, sometimes that experience in the competition, having a Carlo Ancelotti on the sideline that make one change, but having that player that come off the bench that won the competition before, the confidence of changing the game from off the bench, that is something you learn with experience. Pep Guardiola learned that even in City. The players of City learned that. My claim is that Arsenal last season reaching a quarterfinal, I will give them a chance with a favorable draw to go all the way to the final or the semi-final. Because that quarterfinal taught them something, taught them how to manage the game. And I have to say that Arsenal look all right in the Champions League. Having a good defense in the Champions League, it counts for a lot, by the way. It counts for the lot. Because if you are always in the game, it takes one moment from you, one brilliant play from any player to win the game. A penalty, a free kick, a corner kick. As long as you're not conceding and you're not behind. The problem is, for majority of the times that we have watched City over the past couple of months or 3 months, City are always chasing. They're always chasing the game. Always. Even when they're leading, the opposition has a way back. I feel that Arsenal don't allow these moments often. The problem with Arsenal is scoring goals. Whereas in the competition, you can literally go past the knockout stage with 0-0 and 1-0. You need one goal, one corner from you if your defense is good. That's what City don't have.
That's what Porto
City don't have that. City don't have this.
When Porto won the Champions League, I mean, literally it was 1-0, it was 2-1s. Basically, they were built on a solid rock of defending and then getting chances to score. So you think of the Man United game when they scored in the last minute. I'll say this though. The thing about City is that the reason why you don't discount City is that in a one-off game, anything can happen, right? Players can sort of get themselves back to a level. The problem that City have is that one-off game has to happen multiple times now. So it's not just the playoffs, it's also the round of 16 and the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. And at some point, if they're not in a groove, like if, let's say, for example, the league position or the way they play the league doesn't get better, because I think it does translate between competitions. I know we do try to differentiate it, but I think most teams go on a run, and when they're playing good in one, they tend to play good in another, right? If City is still having this patchy, if Leicester or, I don't know, if Southampton give them a hell of a game, it's then difficult to then go and play like a Real Madrid in a playoff and say, right, you know, we don't have that group going with us. And I can see why, in a way, he's doing the Rodri thing. It might be mind games. It might be a thing of play. Look, there is help coming. The problem is that this is a guy who's torn his ACL, hasn't played football for so long, and ACLs are like the worst thing to come back from. So if he's banking on trying to get through to get Rodri back on the pitch by the final, I think that might be more dangerous for Rodri personally, trying to get back to playing a high intensity game with so much on the line. But like I said, with Man City, the biggest problem right now is that they basically have a performance based on the way they've played the season of essentially what they did against Chelsea, but do that multiple times now, because the reality is that this isn't the Man City we saw 2 years ago. They're not the same team. They're an older team. The players they've brought in haven't really stepped up to the level that you expect from City. So it's now, can you play good on a day, as opposed to, we know Man City going to play good on a day. Like before, we could just walk into, like, we could see any match and just go, yeah, Man City will turn up.
This is all cute and everything, but if they get Bayern, they're going through. I promise you all.
That'd be a fun tie too, because Bayern don't really have a midfield either, so it'd just be a basketball tie.
I just want
to be a lot of 5-4s.
I just want all of you, if they make like the quarterfinal or the semi-final, you know, if they beat a Bayern and then go on to beat another team and they're in the semis, just keep the same energy you kept this stream. Bring back Mr. Calculator, bottom right. Bring back Mr. City.
And what energy are you gonna keep?
And let's talk.
Keep the same energy.
Okay, if they get, okay, here's the thing. This is City's possibilities. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, right? We already know. That's not a secret. So if they get Real Madrid, I'll shake all of your hand right now. I think they're going out because I think it's too much for. I think it's too much for them to handle right now. However, I'm not gonna say City have 0% chance. I'll say they have like 5%, 10% chance. Okay, if they get Bayern, I think City will beat Bayern and go through. Happy? I cannot make this more obvious. So for me, Bayern Munich, they're going through. Real Madrid, they're knocked out. That's my honest opinion. There you go.
Also, if we do somehow survive the playoff, we already have to face either Atletico or Leverkusen. So
I believe if you face Atletico, you won't go through.
Leverkusen
we play
Leverkusen. Leverkusen maybe, but I believe that Atletico Madrid will give everyone a hell of a game.
They gave us
a Julian Alvarez
when we had a full team.
Bam, right on your head top.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
That would be
the headline. Julian Alvarez on Pep Guardiola's. Oh my God. And he's like, you sold me. You couldn't guarantee me a starting position.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I think the thing about it is that at the Atletico Stadium, whatever it's called, I can see them beating City 1-0. The problem is that going to Etihad, I can still see City scoring goals. Like there's still goals in that team, despite all the negative.
Do you remember last time when we played a 5-5-1?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't bank on against City not beating Atletico. I just think that you have to do that multiple times, basically.
You know the difference between us and I am not saying that City will not win. I think it's an outside chance that they win. Sam is completely like, no. If they play Bayern Munich, they will go through.
Yeah, I think they'll go through.
Maybe.
The argument was, Mo, if you remember how we started, he said he'd rather face City than to face an Arsenal. And that's where the disagreement. No one sat here and ruled out. Actually, the only person that ruled out City is the City fan on this panel. She said we have no chance.
I'm realistic about my team this year. They're just not
no one else ruled them out. We just said, I just was just being honest. I was like, I'm sorry. You can call me calculated all I want. I'm using the evidence from this season.
I think Husam just wants to face him because he doesn't have to face a midfield or a back line, so his team can just go crazy. We already saw this once.
Can I ask
that game 6 or 7? No.
Can I ask everyone a thing? Does this game matter this Sunday, Jess, for how we look at Manchester City at all?
Oh, how we look at Manchester City
and Arsenal, like this Sunday? Does it matter in this whole competition? Top 4, City will be. I guess it will make difference in the league, but will it make any difference in the chance of the Champions League at all?
I don't think so.
At all.
I just think this game is like. I think we can anticipate how this game is going to go. Is it not giving smelly draw? Both teams play kind of shit. And it's like...
It'd be a high-scoring draw if it's a draw.
I don't even think it's going to be high-scoring, Kel. I really don't.
Actually will go for a 1-1.
I think they're going to unleash that
exactly.
I'm saying Staffy did versus Chelsea. Like, he's going to put Marmoush in there and unleash him. And you guys don't have any like data on Marmoush. We've seen him in one game.
Yeah,
so
but I believe Timba and Saliba can do that.
Yeah, we just don't have like.
Well, it's going to be Marmoush and Holland. They're going to like occupy both of them, and sometimes Saliba's had some moments where he's not been good one-on-one.
Yeah, but I'll be really real. Like,
so I feel much more confident with the second attacker than I did in our previous matchup.
Playing Chelsea in their back line is not like playing our back line. Like, and that's not to be like shady towards Chelsea or anything like that, but Marmoush is a great player, and I know he's going to add something. But trust me, Arteta will have something on Marmoush. He's not going to be some random guy that we've never seen in our lives that we will have no data on. He played in the Bundesliga, So I think I could see this game being pretty smelly. I think both teams have gaps, and that will add. When both teams are not really playing like at the peak of their powers. That'll make it a little bit more exciting. Maybe you give up a penalty or, whatever. But I think it'll be a close game. I don't think any of the scores, if we lose or if you lose or if there's a draw, I don't think it changes too much about the narratives around these two teams. I think those narratives are pretty set for the season. But, I don't. The league just feels very much like a slog for us right now because Liverpool feels so like they're clicking and they're going, and they had a little blip, but we weren't able to capitalize on it. So I'm not quite sure if we're really like we're in it for the vanity of it, But like right now, like the Premier League, like the powers that be are not going to say like no one else is in it. So they have to try to bring other people in. But I think us football fans can look at it and say, without a complete collapse from Liverpool, it's probably done. So our only real hope is the Champions League.
Well, I'll give my final thoughts for Sunday.
And
I think
before-
the element of
before you go on-
surprise with Marmoush
Go ahead.
is favorable for City. You're probably right. Probably will be a draw. I'm going to say another 2-2. That kind of a draw, or maybe even a 3-3. I don't know, but I see a lot of goals in this game because we have no backline or midfield, and I'm just gonna back my guys with this element of surprise to go after your backline. And I think what'll happen is we'll score early in the game, and then you'll just park the bus at home in the second half to counteract it, and then you'll probably nick an equalizer because that's just how our season goes. We just give up a lot of like stupid goals, stupid equalizers. But that's just the reality of the situation this season, and it is what it is.
I will say that, I mean, it's not like a Marmoush signing, but I do think, I know it's like he's 17, but Ethan does make us a little bit better than like whatever the fuck we were doing before.
Much
Like,
better.
Oh, yeah,
the fact that he's like our best
made a
attacker is
mistake.
like insane.
Yeah, and he made. We'll talk about Arsenal now. It's a good segue. I want to do. I know that Kilk has to go. So
peace out. All right, bye guys.
enjoy.
I
have to
love this. I'm gonna eat Malaysian food this weekend.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. Bye
Oh,
guys.
you're going to Malaysia? Wow.
No, she's
cool.
not. She's not. She's doing a
Oh.
domestic flight.
I have to go to Malaysia.
Let me do a couple of these super chats before we go on, guys. Hit that like button. We got 600 people here, and we're not even in 200 likes. The like button is underneath the live chat, people. So hit that like button, people. Subscribe.
I wonder
to all
if
these
that's
guys' channels.
if that's Luke Skywalker's real hair or not. Look at it. It looks like a filter.
Yeah, I think it is a filter. That's like the Elvis filter, I think.
I don't know. I don't think Elvis had that hair, bro.
Staffy, did you interrupt me? Can you tell the people to like at least?
Wow,
Guys,
did you interrupt me? You
per
think
the
you're the
super
president?
chat, per Mo telling you guys 10 times a stream, like the damn button. Just hit the like button and make Mo happy. You know what's one thing I don't like about Mo is when he has to tell people to like the video. And I don't blame him, but you just have to do it. Stop being jealous because it's blood. Bro, I'm about to braid my hair in a few weeks. So that's how tall my hair is right now. So you can't tell me that I'm bald. But okay.
Mina is a Bayern fan. We know Mina. After losing Delict and Mazraoui, this is our worst season. You really believe that this is a worse season than last season? No, I don't think so for Bayern Munich, to be honest. Emmanuel is saying, when the draw was made, nobody gave Arsenal a chance in the last 8. How can you fear a team who has to play Madrid in the playoff to qualify for the last 16? That's for Husam.
Yalla answer.
He said, "Yalla answer."
Damn, it's yours.
I don't get his question.
I think he's saying that like based on the current like where we're at with these two teams, like City, you know, they'll probably have Madrid to get through.
But they
and
don't
Arsenal
have
made
to
it
play
through
Madrid. It's a 50-50. Like I said, if they play Madrid, I agree with you, they're out. If they play Bayern, I think they're through.
I think it's the fact that they have to play this playoff. That's
Yeah.
what they're saying. Like they're not in the top 8.
Okay, but here's the thing. Let's everyone agree, and I think even you guys who disagree with me, like the calculator merchant and Olu, okay? So, using his logic, listen to this. Using Emmanuel's logic, not mine. Atletico Madrid, Leverkusen, Lille, and Aston Villa have a bigger chance of winning the Champions League than Manchester City, Real Madrid, and Bayern Munich because they have to play a playoff. That's your logic. That's literally
When was that my logic?
That's your logic.
Emmanuel, you're cooked.
Yeah.
When was that my
Okay,
logic? I never said
No,
that.
your name is not Emmanuel. Your name is not Emmanuel. It's
Not you, Emmanuel.
No, he said per the calculator.
No, I said even you will agree with me. I'm saying
Oh,
because just because
It's just
Lille went
vibes,
through
to be honest.
directly in 7th place does not mean that anyone in this planet thinks they have a bigger chance than Madrid. No one thinks that. Literally no one.
Yeah,
Not
that's
even
fine.
Lille fans.
Big Up City would beat us. Can't trust Vinny and Sonny. Yeah, Vincent Company, Sonny. Yeah. By the way,
I thought you meant Vinny Jr. I was like, wait, what
no,
have I
Vincent
missed in the
Company and
past?
Sonny.
The
Vincent
thing
Kompany.
is, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Vincent Company is gonna get smacked if he faces
By
Pep.
Pep Guardiola.
Like
Yes.
Pep is actually gonna school him, bro. He's gonna sit him back on the bench. He's gonna be like, sit down and learn, because there's no chance he's gonna outcoach Pep. I'll be honest.
Big up the channel, big up the panel and the chat as always. The man from Uncle. I know the name. Thank you so much. Segue to Arsenal. Okay, I don't believe that just news that came out 5 minutes ago, right?
What happened 5 minutes ago?
That Till prefers Man United over Arsenal. Okay, that's
Why
cannot
don't you
be
believe
true.
that?
Yeah, Habibi, Rabbi, can we not have the banter? Can we just try to be objective?
Question. How's that banter? You said I don't believe it. I say, why don't you believe it? How's that banter? I can't ask questions.
Because you know, where is this guy? How is Man United now more attractive than Arsenal?
Let's stop there. No one said that. I didn't say that. I didn't ask that. Even he didn't say that. He said, you just said, I don't believe that he prefers to go to Man United to Arsenal.
Why would you go to Man United over Arsenal?
It's very, very, very simple. All you have to do is get those headphones off and listen to more what happens over the days, okay?
Okay.
The guy wants to leave Bayern because he wants to play more minutes. He's looking at this Arsenal. He's like, you know what? This Arsenal team is better than United. Which team am I really going to make a stamp on and I'm going to get more minutes and probably be a starter? This Arsenal team that's a little bit more stacked, even though the front line's not that good, or Man United that are dying out for attackers. That's it. No one said Man United are more attractive. No one thought about it that way. If you ask me right now, where would I rather play football? Probably Arsenal. That's easy. But if my whole purpose is to get minutes, it's so easy to get minutes at United. It's that simple. Why does your head have to always go to, oh, who's more attractive? No one said that. I'm definitely not going to say that. Is that reasonable enough for you?
Yeah, that is a little bit reasonable. Yes, you're right. That's very reasonable, actually.
Thank you.
But my point is,
was needed for that.
So can I ask you something? Would you rather play more minutes in Leicester City than actually join Aston Villa?
Oh, Mo.
Yeah, but the difference between United and Arsenal is not the same as Leicester and Villa. Let's be honest.
At the current moment, it is.
No, okay. In the way the teams are performing, 100%.
Table it is.
No, but here's the thing, Mo. There's always this notion where it's like, oh, like for players, and I rate that about Toe if he thinks he's that type of player. There's always this notion. It's like, yo, I can go and actually make this good,
make the difference,
make this team good again.
Yeah,
and that's the difference. Like you can't say that about Leicester. Like Leicester, what they were never that good. But you look at United, like, yo, I rate myself to be that.
They were good 12 years ago.
That's the only difference.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jess.
What does he solve for y'all? I guess that's my question.
That's a great question. I had this discussion with my chat yesterday. We do employ Rasmus Højlund. So it's not necessarily that he solves a lot. Some people that think he's not an improvement. I will tell you right now, 99% of the attackers out there in Europe are an improvement. So it's very hard to miss on an improvement. Just close your eyes and throw a dart, and whatever name it lands on, sign that player. That will probably still be better than Rasmus.
Damn, y'all
so it's not an ideal answer, but it is the.
They love Xerxes because Xerxes cannot make people. Højlund can't, so they love Xerxes.
Wow.
That's how it works.
Wait, I might like to just buy all of Bayern Munich's old players because this is getting ridiculous now. Xerxes play for them, De Ligt play for them. You're talking about Tel now. Who else?
Mazraoui played for them.
You are literally trying to replicate.
Tel always good at football bingo.
Yeah,
we didn't buy Xerxes from Bayern though.
But he played for them, didn't he?
Can I ask a cheeky question before we go to Arsenal? Sorry,
yeah, but we didn't buy him.
Very cheeky question. Would you rather keep Rashford if he does what Amorim say, which is fix him? Why?
I just don't want Rashford in this club. Too much trauma, bro. Enough.
Trauma.
I agree with
it's like you fought with your girlfriend for 8 years, but now you're trying to fix it again. I'm tired, bro. You fought for 8 years. It's time to move on.
Wallahi, Staff is right. That story is finished.
Okay.
Why are we lying to each other?
Yeah, because Amorim opened the door for him. Amorim yesterday.
He said I would rather have the doctor playing if he
the goalkeeping coach.
Yeah, come on.
Guys, Amorim said we are a better team with Rashford, and he talked about the attitude. Am I wrong here? Wasn't he asked the straight question? Are you a better team with Rashford? Like, yes, we're a better team with Rashford. I want Rashford to play, but blah blah blah. But we have to fix something like the attitude or something need to change in him.
Yeah, but these are
that's what he said.
These are political answers, which he has to say. Every manager should be saying things like that because his value is already like very, very. It's horrible right now. Like we're not really getting anything for him. We can't move him on. The last thing people want to put out there in the club that it's because of it's disciplinary issues. Oh, he's this, he's that. No, like he keeps saying, listen, I'm just not playing players though. I don't think that are given 100% for the team. He said it's not a Rashford thing. It's just my principles. If I feel like someone's not given 100%, I'm just not gonna play him. He was like, that doesn't mean it's is a discipline. I just don't think that they're doing 100%. So I don't want him in the team. That's it. So he was like, I'll apply that logic to anyone else. He was like, you guys don't ask me about Casemiro, and Casemiro doesn't play.
Yeah.
Why do you keep thinking it's just a Rashford thing?
Can I add something to that? So wait, one second. Let me catch something. For me, the biggest downfall, or the start of downfall I saw, funny enough, with Ten Hag was when Ronaldo, at the start of preseason, disrespected him, right? And they disrespected him during the season, and then brought him back in, right? And that was like a way of undermining him. It's in my mind, like that you're just undermining him as a manager in terms of what his authority basically. Now, if he does the same, if Amorim does the same thing with Rashford, right? I.e., I'm gonna ostracize you. I'm not gonna play you. Pretty much told you need to leave, and then essentially, in a way, comes crawling back. I think that's to undermine him, especially to the other players, where it's like, okay, actually, from a respect standpoint, you can do whatever. You can, I can say, go, right? He can come out and say, I want to go away from Man United, and then I still have to bring him back in. I think United and Rashford needs to divorce. It just needs to happen at this point. Like, obviously, too many. I'm agreeing with you, Staffy. Too many bridges.
It's so dramatic.
It's not going to happen. Like,
too many bridges have been burnt. I think United fans are also tired of Rashford. Like, you go through cycles with him. 1 minute he's the pride of Manchester. Next minute you don't want him playing at all. I think for him, but also for United as well, and in changing the whole environment, someone like a Rashford has to leave. He in a way is the remnants of the old United, right? The United you're trying to get away from, and this has to be one of those things where they cannot, like, if worst comes to worst, just put him in reserves and find a way.
No. Get rid of him. I agree with you. I think it's time to divorce, as you said. Sometimes you just need something fresh. You need something new. That's it. It doesn't have to necessarily be like, oh, who was in the wrong, who was in the right. Sometimes both people are fine, but you still need to break up. It's fine. I think we reached a point where it's just like it's time for Rashford.
It's so deep. It's unbelievable what is going on this channel.
It's true. Sometimes, bro, like, it's not necessarily that one part was just a horrible person. Sometimes the relationship doesn't work. So it's fine. It's time to move on. I think the last thing you want to do, though, Olu, is make it a disrespect thing, because I just explained to you that the manager said yesterday it is not a disciplinary thing. It's more of an effort thing, and it's more of a performance thing. And he's analyzing the performances, and he doesn't feel like he's given 100% of what he wants to see on the pitch and in training. So that's why he was like, I'm not going to ban him from the team, because it's not like he's done anything wrong for me to say, go train with the reserves. Because the minute you do that, you're not really getting anything from him. It's going to be another Aubameyang case where we just have to pay him off and just go do something else. And we don't want to reach out. We want to at least get something for him.
I kind of agree with you, but if he's not given 100% in training or in a match, then he's disrespecting him. Like, as a player, you're paid.
I think a lack of effort is disrespectful.
It is a lack of effort for me is disrespectful, because in the end, he's the manager. He's trying to. There's 10 other players, or there's a team of 26, and if he's bringing it down by not giving effort, right, and he's getting paid so much, you are disrespecting the manager. You're disrespecting the club. You're disrespecting the fans who come to watch you. So in a way, he is disrespecting. Even though he's not.
In that case, a lot of players would be sent to the reserves all the time.
I agree. Maybe I am looking at it from a harsh standpoint, but I do think that, like I said, I just don't feel like this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm a bit too harsh. Maybe I'm a bit too harsh about it.
I see where you're coming from. I just don't want it to get to that part, because, as I said, once it gets to that, first of all, there's a lot more media talk. I watched the press conferences, and I actually feel bad for Amorim. 5 of the questions that he got out of like 8 or 9 were about Rashford, not about the game. It is actually annoying. Like, the same thing gets asked every day. There's a game tomorrow. We could potentially finish second place in the Europa League, or we could be out of 8th and go to playoffs, and no one cares about that. They just care to ask more about Rashford. It is actually jarring. Like, I don't even enjoy the press conferences anymore because of these questions. So the last thing you want to do is make it a disciplinary issue and say, yeah, me and him have completely fallen off. He got stripped of the number 10. Now he's training with the kids. He's not allowed in the locker room. It's going to be another Sancho Ten Hag situation. And you don't want it to get to that point again and reach a point where it's like, as I said, once it gets to that point, you're not even getting a loan for him. Everyone is just going to wait for a contract to get terminated or something like that. And there you go. You lost any bit of hope to at least end this relationship with no bad blood. Plus, you lose every opportunity to get any pennies off him. You know,
That's
so I
fair.
agree with you, but I don't want it to get to that. I don't
even think the two parties genuinely want to separate. Like, I just feel like it's just like a toxic kind of relationship type of thing. I don't think United really want to get rid of Rashford. I think they're like kind of open to it, but like in reality, they'd rather him like be fine. And I don't think Rashford seems like he kind of gives off like a townie vibe, like somebody that's going to stay in Manchester for the rest of his life, like kind of guy. I don't see him anywhere else but Manchester United when the end of this transfer window like closes. Like, so every time that it's like Rashford could possibly leave, no, he ain't going nowhere. So Amorim's gonna have to find a way.
No, he's actually going. He's actually they found someone in Turkey to pay his wage for the rest of the year.
Galatasaray want to pay him. Yeah.
Galatasaray want to pay his whole wage till the end of the year.
Going anywhere.
So there's two possibilities.
Perfect for him, by the way.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think he'd be loved by Galatasaray, and he's actually going to play around some decent people.
And he'd move out from the whole country and everything as well.
There's two possibilities right now, and I discussed
It's
this.
a better party place in Turkey, by the way, than England. But yeah, fine.
There's the Galatasaray part, and Galatasaray is a very rich club. Don't get it twisted. So there's rumors that they're going to pay almost all of his wages to get him in on loan for 6 months. And there's always the Barcelona door, which is a lot tougher, just because of the whole Ansu Fati thing. But I was reading a report yesterday, and I'll probably send it to you, Mo, if you want to read it after. Ajax are trying to move in for Ansu Fati. Obviously, that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah. I read that. Ansu Fati removes a place for Marcus Rashford.
If he does go to Ajax, which I think it's going to be a very good move for him.
Like 4 years ago, bro, that guy was a phenomenon.
Yeah, and it's a good place for him to go and rediscover his football if he's willing to give up these wages. And if that happens, that 300k that he gets, that could be a loan for Rashford. And there you go.
Smirk.
No, Ansu Fati did it to Arsenal. What's wrong with you?
No, he's talking about Rashford, right? Or you talking about
Rashford?
Fati.
I'm not gonna lie. For content purposes, I want it to happen, but no.
Listen, you know what? I'll say this. I won't put it past Arsenal to get something like a Fati, because remember we got what's his name, the player who came in with a broken back. We bought
Kallstrom.
We brought in Kallstrom with a broken back. We brought in Neto, who's cup tied in cup games.
Wait,
so
you
brought in Sterling.
What was that?
Did you say you want Ansu Fati?
That's enough. No, I'm not saying. I'm saying I won't put it past Arsenal to go and get Ansu Fati.
Jess has a definition for Arsenal Football Club in terms of like. She always said.
Jess has had enough.
Like, bro, that you told us last season when you're like you revive people's careers, and I'm like, I can't remember what you said.
I said what?
Bro, they're a rehab center, bro. If you have
something similar.
They're like they like to Arteta has a captain save a hoe type of thing.
Captain save.
And then he's like, he always wants to save someone and rebuild them into, and like we have to do all the therapy and send them to the rehab, and I'm just like, what will it take for you to stop this nonsense?
That's a doctor.
Rashford is not gonna. He can't. Like, he would break down at Arsenal. Our fan base versus y'all fan base. Nah.
I don't see.
Imagine the AFTV meltdowns when Rashford doesn't run on the pitch.
I actually don't think that Rashford will be ever back at United playing football. I agree with you guys, to be honest.
Yeah,
the problem is as well, but I want to end the Rashford thing is that I don't think that he has a spot in this Amorim system at all. At all. He's not a striker. He's not a 10.
If it's Rashford of 2 years ago, yes, you could easily play him in this system. But
maybe I don't know, but I don't think so.
There's no point of trying to see if he can perform like that again. Just move on.
I want to go to the more relevant club at the current moment, which is Arsenal, since we have two Arsenal fans on the panel.
Wow, more relevant club.
I didn't wake up
it's
to hear
literally more
relevant. We're popular.
And then he wonders why we attack him all the time.
Yeah. Apologize to Lautaro now.
What does Lautaro have to do with Man United and Arsenal?
Because
he's the only one that
this is your new lineup. Every day when we do shows together, like, apologize to Lautaro now. Every time I say something,
because you rage bait us, and then you pretend that you don't rage bait.
I don't.
I don't rage bait on purpose. No, you do. You do these things.
So who's more relevant? Arsenal are more relevant than you. It's got some shame. You're in Europa League, you're 12th in the league, you're not challenging for the title, you're not even challenging for top 4. The only thing that is relative now for you, that is relevant to it's in the news, Garnacho going to Chelsea, that's your biggest thing. Garnacho going to Chelsea or you signing Mathys still and beating Arsenal to it. That's it.
Listen,
Football-wise, broski, there is nothing.
I'm going to tell you guys this. Listen,
I'm telling you one thing, we're more relevant than you in the Premier League.
Wow.
Listen, I'm gonna leave it at this, Mo. I found more joy doing transfer streams on my channel than doing watch-alongs. So there you go.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
Oh, when you get to that point, you know your team is just washed. It's like I hate watching them. I'm at the cusp. I'm right there.
No, you're signing Oli Watkins.
No, they're not.
Be serious for 5 seconds. Like,
well, I'm not.
It's 6.
Okay.
It's what 7 o'clock in the morning. Respect me.
Gaslighting her at 7 in the morning is crazy.
Listen to me. Listen to me. There are many angles on this. Yes, California.
Oh yeah, she's West Coast.
She wakes up at 6 a.m.
She literally says that on Instagram.
Why don't you know where it's like? Husam,
She
you don't know
literally says
anything
that on
about
Instagram.
me. I've known you for like 2-3
don't.
years now. You don't know nothing about me. You don't know where I live. You don't know anything about me except for I'm an Arsenal fan. Sad. It's really sad.
Fairs.
No, but what were you gonna say, Mo?
So here's the thing. Yesterday, I said on Husam's show that let's move on from Watkins because Duran was sold and Arsenal aren't signing the striker of Aston Villa. So I wake up, I see the interview of Mr. Unai Emery when he was asked, are you keeping Watkins? He's like, I would like to, as it's not his choice. He wasn't like affirmative. Yes, we're keeping Watkins. And that was after Duran was announced by Fabrizio. And then later in the day, this morning, it was announced that Arsenal didn't bid 60 million for Oli Watkins. That they only bid 40 million and it was rejected because of the timing and the amount of bid. An hour later, moving forward, because I wake up earlier than people, you can check that. You can check that. This is just news because I'm 2 hours ahead of the UK. Other news. Oh, by the way, Arsenal were up their bid on Oli Watkins and there might be. Arsenal aren't like they haven't given up. And these are all respectful journalists. Arsenal haven't given up on Oli. I'm not going to say that you're going to sign him, but that's a step in the right direction, don't you think? No? Why are you smiling?
You're just so funny.
Why is she smiling?
Like, this is such BS. Like, this is such crap. Like, honestly, Arsenal, first of all, you had 29 days. Oli Watkins has been sitting there. He hasn't been on vacation. He's just been there. You waited 29 days. Then he put in some rank ass bid, 40 million, instead of going for the price that he's actually going for, which is 60 million if he's available. I know what you are, Arsenal. We tried. We just couldn't get it done, but we tried. And here's the thing. I'm not even that type of person. Like, I think Arsenal fans are way too obsessed with age. I think anybody that's over 26, they think is washed. And just because we brought in players that have been older and haven't done well, that doesn't mean that every player that's not like a child is crap. So Oli Watkins, if he were to come to Arsenal, walks into our team and becomes our best player up front besides Saka. And it's not even close, you know? So I like Oli Watkins, but this feels 2 years too late. This feels too late for the January transfer window. And Arsenal, if you're going to go and disrupt people, can you please respect them and put in a bid that's not like pathetic? Because I didn't see City going and disrespecting Frankfurt and putting in a 20 million pound bid for Marmoush. No, they went in and they put in a big bid that would make them feel like, well, shit, let's take that. And then they just moved on with their lives. But we want to do the back and forth and the nonsense. Oli Watkins would be available for a certain fee. Almost everybody is available for a certain fee. But we're just so unserious, Mo. That's why I know we ain't gonna get nobody. But probably a goalkeeper. Because I can see that. I can see us bringing in a freaking goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper. You have two.
We don't care. If he could stock the whole team full of goalkeepers, he would. He's mad. He's crazy.
She went the whole other side, bro, against Arteta.
I think basically sometimes Arsenal treat the transfer window like it's 2008 or something, where 40 million pounds is like 100 million pounds, basically. So sometimes we just lowball as much as possible, thinking like, you know, yeah, we're gonna sign this player for what cheaper there is. I mean, Look, I think Ollie Watkins is not the most inspiring signing, but I think, as Jess said, he's probably, he's going to be better than what we have up front. And we know that actually the biggest problem with Kai Havertz right now is that he just doesn't put the ball in the back of the net. He does everything, but just do the one thing that we need him to do. And Ollie Watkins at least is better than that. Not the best in the world. I mean, there's other players who do it better than him. But right now, we're in a situation where we just need more bodies. Who are
Yeah, but
able to
should I'll ask you a question, Olu. Should that be your benchmark? What Kai Havertz is?
Well, you have to, yes, because you have to go with what we currently have.
Okay, but if I use your logic, then Liverpool should sign Jean-Philippe Mateta because he's better than Nunez.
Well, he is better.
Yeah, but that's disrespectful to Ollie Watkins, though. Or like, what is, you know what I mean? Like, does everybody? I think Ollie Watkins is right the next level down from the Hollands and those guys. Like,
I'm agreeing with you. I'm talking to Olu because Olu's the one that's saying.
We're talking about. To be honest with you,
Olu's point is he's just better than what we have. But I'm saying that's not the logic that you should have. You should be convinced that the player actually is a game changer and should be a difference maker.
Again, you see, Husam, that's why you got to listen to me properly. I said it's uninspiring. That's the first thing I said.
Yeah, okay. You're
how's
actually
it uninspiring? Ollie Watkins is a very good player.
I feel like uninspiring is uninspiring the same as not sexy enough, because it can't be uninspiring if he walks into our team and changes our life, because genuinely he would do that at this moment.
I agree. But what I'm saying is this, I guess what I'm saying is the great teams tend to have a marquee striker, right? Most great teams tend to have a marquee striker. A person who the name of
Liverpool don't.
Okay, Liverpool in recent history, maybe a player who instills fears into the hearts of defenders. Ollie Watkins is not that, right? Right now we have none because Saka is in there, and everyone else is just serviceable. So that's what I'm saying. Like, in terms of uninspiring, when I say uninspiring, is I would love us to have a striker who we just look at him, first them in the team sheet, and teams already think, crap, we're in for a long day trying to mark that guy, right? Ollie Watkins isn't that for me, but he's good enough that I know that he will score goals. But is he a game changer by himself? No, I don't think so.
But see, I feel like that's the thing, though. It's like, who are these names of? Well, first of all, who's available to us that is going to have that? Because you said a name, which I think that's what it goes back to. It's not necessarily the substance of the player. It's they don't have the name. Because Gyökeres is a great player. But if you stuck Ollie Watkins in that Portuguese league, he'd have 100 goals. But Watkins doesn't sound the same as Gyökeres. I just think it's name.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know what? She's absolutely cooking.
Because let me land this really quickly. Like, I think when we're about to play Aston Villa, I know the name I'm looking at on their team sheet is Watkins, because he's one of the few center forwards that actually gives Saliba and Gabriel a hard time. He scores against us almost every single time we play them. So I don't really see. I do think we can be a little, it's got to be a player that has a sexy name or something like that. And when I'm seeing people be like, well, just go get Ekitike from Frankfurt, I'm just like, yeah, but Ollie Watkins is like 10 times what he is right now.
I totally agree with you. I mean, yeah, you're right that the name thing is something, but I also think that
you have a Chihuahua, Jess?
I sure do. I have two.
She lives in California.
I got two pugs, so there you go.
You're a Chihuahua person? Look at that little devil right there. Oh my god.
Devil.
So he's a Chihuahua Jack Russell Terrier mix.
Guys, focus.
Okay.
Chihuahuas are devils though. Even she'll tell you.
I'll bring my pug on the screen if you don't stop right now.
What is going on here?
I know. Anyways, I'll say no. The reason why I say this,
kids in the backgrounds. What a show.
Those are my kids. Sorry about that.
I know. I'm just missing you.
I've got two kids.
It's like we're on Barney right now.
It's crazy. I was gonna say though, like when I remember the old Arsenal teams, right? One thing they used to say was that just looking at the names on the sheets used to instill fears into the other opponents, right? Even the big games, they're looking, oh crap, I'm playing Thierry Henry, I'm playing Patrick Vieira, so on and so forth. We don't have many of those anymore. And yes, it is like Barney in my house right now. And when I talk about Ollie Watkins, I don't see him as, I guess if we just looking at him, he's a goal scorer, but he doesn't, I don't know if he changes games by himself. And probably Arsenal right now is that we're very predictable in trying to stop us. He just cross every single thing, just cross and trying to get a goal.
It gives you a different dimension though of how you play, Olo. Like you could play.
Yeah, we leave a lot of goals on the table. I think we focus a lot on like creating chances, and we need to create more chances. But genuinely, there's so many things that just like balls in the box, you know, just opportunities where you could take a shot where Havertz decides to pass backwards. Like we leave so much on the table. And I do understand that, like, basically, I think what Arsenal fans want is they want a reincarnation of Thierry Henry. And I'm here to tell you right now, we are not getting Isak. So you can take that out of, let's remove that, whatever part of your brain that's saying Isak, go and remove it. It's not happening. We have to deal with the players that are actually available to us. And sometimes it's not as sexy, you know, it's not. But Arsenal also have a history of bringing players that aren't necessarily household names and making them into that. So, like, Henry was not a thing before he came to us. He wasn't.
He was a Juve technically, yeah.
He was largely considered.
He was actually a failure at Juve. So just
yeah, he was. Yeah. So I think I get what you're saying, Olu. I do. Like, I would like something a little bit more big. I want something bigger. But I'm not going to turn Ollie Watkins down when I literally am watching. When I'm watching what I got.
You want to say his name?
Yeah, can I say something? I'm gonna have to step in here. To be honest with you, Olu, with all due respect, I love you, man. You're my friend and everything, right?
Oh,
but
no.
Listen to me, my man.
You know when he says with all due respect, he's about to
disrespect you. Yeah, fact.
Everything he said, I saw from 100 Arsenal fans on Twitter. That word you used, inspiring or uninspiring, whatever the word you use, uninspiring, that was tweeted yesterday. Probably it was trending because of Ollie Watkins.
I didn't even know that.
And the problem is
accusing Ollie of plagiarism.
Yeah, I don't know what that word means.
I'm a wordsmith.
Plagiarism, like you're copying someone.
Who gave you passport?
It's not copying, but I'm gonna tell you what happens.
Fine.
There is a PR thing that ran in the background, and I know why. And Jess is so right. For some whatever reason, Arsenal fans now, you know, they criticize him. Some of them didn't even criticize his football ability. They criticize his age. Why do you give a shit about his age? If he comes in and give you 2 good 3 years, why do you care? No, but this guy is younger. Who cares? You need a striker today. He's 29 years old. He's playing for Aston Villa in the Premier League. He has 30 plus GA. Get the man in the club, put him up top, try to win the league or a trophy or something. Who cares if he's 21, 23, 29? Okay.
Watkins is 29. Why do I think he was younger?
Yeah, but the problem is, to be honest with you, is that as a football fan, we shouldn't be looking at this. The resale value, oh my God, this is it. Look at now, and you're not paying 100 million for him. Yeah, Arsenal, by the way, in their ranks, they have plenty of under 25 years olds. Plenty of them. Calafiori is, Saka is, Martinelli is, even Havertz is 24 years old. Saliba, Ben White, Halas, go and sign at 29 years old. Who cares if he doesn't have a resale value? And I'm like, it's tiring because the problem is, and with all due respect, there's a lot of people, and that when that word keeps running, people stop believing and thinking it's a fact. Arsenal need to sign a project player. No, you don't.
So
it shouldn't be a project player.
Also, if you were to go to Aston Villa and not
watch.
If you were going to be like not ridiculous and give them the 60 million that they're potentially asking for, that would still potentially, for the whatever they were going to spend on Isak, which I don't know, you know, you still have 40 million left over to go get that project striker that you want. We actually need 2 strikers. We actually do need 2 strikers. So I kind of understand that, like, right now, because first of all, if we got Sesko tomorrow, there'd be the same people would be saying, yeah, but he's too young and too inexperienced. That is where we're at. Like, that is where we're at. You either have somebody that's a little bit more experienced, not as sexy, or you have a younger player that's probably not super ready. We can get both of those and be done with this conversation. Guys, we have Havertz playing 9 for us right now. Jesus was playing 9 for us. Like, do you get what I'm saying? We really can't be sitting
and Jesus is going to move on. So Arsenal will have to sign 2 players anyway.
All I want is
get out of the project stage. Get out of that project stage. It's like we want young players so we can stay the youngest team and all this kind of stuff. Move on from that. Move on from it.
Just take 60 million, go to Nottingham Forest and say, Chris Woods, come here.
No, you're taking the piss.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, if Arsenal go and get Ollie Watkins, be real.
No one laughed. That was a horrible idea.
And if Arsenal get Ollie Watkins and get that team Matthias Tell, I think that's a very good window for them. You get a winger that is covering left and right, that can start on the left, and when Saka comes back, and he can actually shift to the right. If Saka's not there, he can start the games and get Oli Watkins a striker. I think that's a very, very good window. And that puts them in a place at least that at the end of the season, there is no one that has an excuse and say Arteta wasn't backed. The club gave him tools. Now work. Show me that you can press Liverpool. Show me that you can put the pressure on Liverpool. Show me that you can go far in the Champions League. I believe that should be the target. Not like, oh my God, we bet 40 million for Oli Watkins. Oh, we couldn't get him, but you knew you were not going to get him for 40 million. You knew that.
Ridiculous.
You knew this. Are you testing the water? Like, it's not. And they can go and try to convince still.
Yeah,
it's
and
water.
you
What
know
American?
what? Like, since Aubameyang has been like when we
You're American,
had
I
our
know what
striker
to do.
situation with Aubameyang, we had Lacazette and Aubameyang, two older guys that kind of couldn't, they tried to play them together, kind of couldn't. Now we have no striker. How about we get a striker? Let's start there. The initial, get a striker, and then go get somebody that's younger and actually squad build like a coherent side. Like, I don't see why Watkins means you can't get the younger player that you're obsessing over. I feel like we should be able to do both, and we should expect that from the club. But it's just like we want this perfect signing all the time. It doesn't exist. We missed the boat.
Facts, by the way. Facts.
Yeah, it's like
Facts.
it doesn't. This whole perfect signing.
But they
bullshit,
have to wait for
man.
Cisco. They
And
have
just,
to wait
by the
for
way, I'm
Cisco.
glad Jess mentioned
If they don't
Aubameyang.
wait for Cisco, it's
By
not
the way,
gonna.
Arsenal
Arsenal
signed
will
Aubameyang
fold.
when he was 29 as well.
I mean,
Arsenal signed Aubameyang when he was 29. He won like 2 golden boots. He almost
Yeah.
single-handedly carried them to an FA Cup. Go check the facts. He signed.
The only
we
Aubameyang.
problem
signed
that
we,
we
we
had-
signed Van Persie at 29. We won a league
Yeah.
and we got no sell-on value 2 years later.
Staffy, nobody asked you. Nobody asked
Oh,
you
we're,
that
we're
question.
sorry, but
All that.
that's why I leave it over here. I mean, you probably can't see it, but
Thing is with this age conversation. Look, ask yourself: is signing Oli Watkins now worth it if you win the league 6 months from now?
Of course it is.
maybe, of course it is.
If your answer is yes, then you should go all in for Oli Watkins. Here's the issue. Yesterday, I was watching the Saudi channels. Akshinha ya Dawri, I was watching it, and they were talking about John Durant to Al Nassr, and they were basically saying that that's like gonna happen now because they wanted Boniface, and then they changed their mind and went got Duran instead of Boniface. So now that that's happening, if we're being objective and honest here, if Duran's going to Al Nassr, then Oli Watkins is not going to Arsenal. So now here's the thing. Just mentioned PR. This now becomes negative PR because we know you have the money. We
Yep.
know you are willing to spend the money, but you're going to tell me it's Oli Watkins or no one because that's exactly what they're going to brief the journalists within 24 hours. It's
But you
Oli
know-
Watkins or nobody. You know
you
this.
know, because like I know that's what the tea that they're always on. It's what we tried with this one player, and now we can't do anything. Arsenal, I know what you are. Like, you're not special. Like, we know what you are. You're gonna put in this fake ass bid, low as fuck, so you couldn't get him, and then go with the we tried, but we're getting Zubamendi in the summer, so be happy about that. I know what you are.
But by the way,
Zubimendi lost to Getafe and Lazio. Hold that, Zubimendi. Lazio and Getafe beat you. He lost 3-0.
Alright,
You guys know that guys know that Zubimendi thing was.
We could have been something special, Zubimendi. You could have been top of the Champions League and top of the Premier League, but instead you decided to stay at Sociedad. Fuck your paella and your mountains. You lost to Getafe. You're crap. You lost to Lazio. You went to Rome and got humiliated.
right.
We beat Roma in a Champions League semi-final. Hold that, Zubimendi, you big bitch. Anyway, let's
Okay,
get
so-
Husam,
Zubimendi-
Husam, leave
Wait,
the
wait.
door open. Leave the door open. He might come to your club in the summer, by the way.
But
He-
when
he's not-
Zubimendi, for his own
if
sake,
he
you need to
changes-
put a
Hey,
restraining
if he
order on this
changes
guy.
his mind, I change
Getting
my mind.
insane.
Why
You
is
guys
he
know
allowed-
that-
It's Spain to Jordan.
why
because
is
it's
he
getting
You
allowed
guys
to
know
take
that
me
that
on a
Zubimendi
ride,
thing
I
was
can't take him on a ride. I'm gonna take him on
Guys,
a ride as well.
you know that on a serious note, I don't want to drag, but you guys know that the Zubimendi thing was a PR, right? Publicly, it was stated that he hasn't agreed to join any club.
So why are you condemning Jess for saying PR then?
Actually, I'm someone who says that Arsenal PR is one of the biggest machine. I disagree with you. I think Arsenal PR is bigger than Liverpool's PR.
Mhm.
Bro, do you know
Because
what?
Egal.
No, and it's not Egal, the club. I'm going to tell you an
Yeah,
example,
Regardless,
Osman.
negative PR.
I'm going to tell you an example. Liverpool
Egal
Football
worked for the
Club,
club.
Liverpool Football Club never tried to inject, we have no money to the fans. Before the PSR report that came out, I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans that fit the narrative that Arsenal don't have the money, that they have to sell to buy. And that is coming from the club. The club is trying to inject that idea into the fans, so they start believing that Arsenal have the money.
Sorry, I got to stop there. Arsenal, no. If you look at every report,
Yeah.
Arsenal have said they've been financially in a good place for a long time.
You said that.
No, since COVID season, they've always even Josh Kroenke has come and said we do have money to spend. I think what happens is that
you believe Josh
fans-
Kroenke?
Yeah, because I watch random things. But the thing is that I think what happens is that fans have a defensive copium that it creates what is thing that actually, because Arsenal are doing something, we've got to create an excuse for why it's not happening. That's not true. Arsenal have been actually financially stable for the past couple of years.
So why they aren't spending the money now?
I can tell you why.
Sorry.
Olu, go ahead.
Oh, go on. No, you go ahead.
Well, the reason why they're not spending the money is because once we got into top 4 and they feel like we're, for the third year on, going to be a top 4 side, they want to go into their self-sustaining model. The Kroenkes don't want to inject more money into this club. And so this is why, like, obviously there's micro conversations with Arsenal about what we're doing on the pitch right now. Those are fine. But the macro conversations are actually what scares me more. This past summer window, that was a self-sustaining window. That was sell and then we buy, sell and then we buy. That's where we are right now. There are not going to be like the windows that we had in the last couple of years where we had the 115 million already sitting there, the war chest, the da-da-da-da. That's done. The Kroenkes are like, we've done what we wanted to do, which is the biggest fear that Arsenal fans have had. And why, when people were saying that the Kroenkes are great owners, there was another section of the fan base that were like, what are you talking about? We haven't won anything. Because they're not going to spend enough for us to win something. I see people, I just looked at my phone right now. People are pulling the numbers for what we will get for finishing in a certain place in the Champions League and also finishing in the top 4 of the league. You don't think the Kroenkes understand that? That was their whole game, was to get us back into top 4. So this coming summer, when we think we're going to go out there and have 100 and something million off the bat, we're not. We're going to have to sell these players. That's why Jesus getting the ACL is catastrophic for us. We can't sell him. He's one of our most sellable assets, which that in itself is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, if we have to sell first and we're not a great selling side, then what is a summer window where we need maybe 4 or 5 players realistically? What is that going to look like for us? So that's why they're not spending the money. They have it. They don't want to spend it.
And more, like I said, I've always told you this. I'm an LA Rams fan, so that's the team I support from on the NFL. And how convenient is that? I know. Listen, I've been going through pain for many years, so don't do that. And look, what they tend to do is they will suck for a while, they throw a whole bunch of money, which is what happened in Declan Rice's season, right? And then everything goes back to normal. So now we're if we stick to what we are right now, we're in a self-sustaining mode in terms of the LA Rams. This is what the Kroenkes do. Every now and then they'll invest, right? But they won't invest over and over and over and over again. They'll just invest once and go, right, win now, and if not, continue till we get to a point where we're precious to invest again. That's what they did with LA Rams for a very long time. From 1999 till 2 years ago, they hadn't won the Super Bowl because even though they bought it in between that time, they just didn't invest. And that's their model. And they also stick with managers. And I've always said, the thing about people who think Arteta is going to go, unless he's decided to leave, we are stuck with that guy. Because the Kroenkes also don't get rid of coaches. They just will continue going until it eventually works. Same thing happened with the Nuggets as well, Denver Nuggets. So, anyways, that's besides the point.
What happened to the Nuggets last night, by the way?
You guys see,
I don't
so just breaking news actually. It looks like Mathys still is going for 60 million euros to Spurs actually. That the deal has been 60 million euros. So that's about 50 million pounds. So
you know how much Bayern spent for him, right?
I don't know.
20 million euros, and they put him on the bench for 2 years.
He played last season. He played over 20 games, by the way, for them.
He didn't play a lot of games over the last 2 years. That's what I'm saying.
But his career is done, in my opinion. That's his career down the drain, to be honest with you.
That's a good deal for them.
And that's why I said about Ollie Watkins. Arsenal still aren't behaving like it's the transfer windows of 2010 because Matthias Tell, who is
where'd you see that, by the way?
22.
So all over Twitter.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Just type Matthias Tell now. Even the Chelsea accounts are reporting that it's done for them.
Sorry, he's 19. He's 19 and Spurs are going to spend 60. and Arsenal are bidding starting with 40 million.
Fabrizio just
We are-
tweeted about it actually, just
Yeah,
now,
he
2 minutes
did.
ago.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I mean, Spurs spent 65 million on Solanke, and people were losing their shit over it. And I'm like, if you scored 20 goals in a Premier League season, a team is going to ask you for that amount if you're a Premier League team,
Oh,
and you're going to
100%.
pay it.
See what I keep saying, bro? This is why when United fans want to undersell Garnacho, I'm like, bro, you can sell potential for anything. Anything.
Yeah.
Well,
People want to
I mean,
undersell Garnacho.
Well, the problem is Garnacho has no potential. That's the problem.
There's no proof. What's the proof?
The proof
Are you
is
psychic?
who do you think would sell for more right now? Because I just seen like something about Martinelli. Who do you think would garner the biggest fee, Martinelli or Garnacho?
Garnacho,
I think
We was-
Garnacho has a bigger.
without a
potential.
shadow of a doubt, in my mind.
Yes.
You know why?
Yes.
By the way, I think
Garnacho-
Martinelli is a better player.
I'm gonna tell you why, Jess. Garnacho hasn't failed yet. On paper, Garnacho hasn't failed yet.
No.
You know,
You
like
said Martinelli
Man
failed?
United go, yeah, Martinelli
No.
failed.
The thing
Why?
is, Martinelli
Because-
went from a 15-goal season to doing nothing.
Yes.
So
Martinelli
kinda looks
already
bad.
dipped. Martinelli
Okay.
already, like in the eyes of the public, even the eyes of the Arsenal fans, Martinelli was at 22 GA season when you came second to that
Yeah.
last season, having shit season, to Arteta's gonna resurrect this guy to get us another 25 GA or 22 to like, can we get a left winger now? Can we just stop this? Can we sell the guy? So already Arsenal fans are putting the PR that the guy failed. So
Oh my
definitely
gosh.
Garnacho is gonna be
Forget-
sold for
forget-
more.
Forget that.
Garnacho still has a little
I'll-
mystery about him, I guess.
I'll give you the. I'll give you the
Hey,
best
he
reason.
wears CR7
Staffy-
boxers.
why
That
Staffy
alone
said-
sells a lot.
Man United can go and say this was one of our best youngsters. Look at how
Yep.
many goals he scored for the first team.
Mo, he's 20 years
20
old.
years
He
old.
played over 100 games in senior
Yeah, he's
football.
20
You
years
understand how that
old.
sells?
And he hasn't failed.
amazing.
I'm telling you, Jess, he hasn't failed yet. You can watch him and don't like him as much as you want. But on
Listen,
paper, on
I
Man
don't
United's book, he
necessarily
hasn't failed.
disagree. I
Listen,
don't
Jess,
necessarily
I'm
disagree. I
selling
just
the
wanna know.
car before that engine check light turns on. I know it's gonna turn on any minute now. I'm just not gonna tell the buyer. I know
But
it
with-
will, but I'm
Well,
trying to get
that's
it
how I
sold.
felt about selling Nketiah. People are
I
accused,
would,
oh, Arsenal, they sold. I can't believe they. Yeah, we sold. We sold
I would-
Nketiah to Crystal Palace for 30 million. Nobody's ever been swindled like that before.
no, I'll
The
tell.
guy,
I'll
the
tell.
guy,
I'll-
the guy is literally worth 12 million max.
What-
That guy.
One second. Let me tell you why we Garnacho will go for more than Martinelli. We sold we sold Henry for 16 million, and Tottenham bought Darren Bent for 18 million. We sold our greatest ever striker, the greatest ever player to play in the Premier League, for 16 million to Barcelona, and Darren Bent that same season was bought for 18 million. Our selling tactics are horrible. We will take peanuts for any player. That's the reason why. We're just terrible at selling players.
Yeah, we are.
I promise you that's not
Shocking.
only the case. I'm gonna leave this to Husam, but I don't think Salah's contract include bonuses for every goal and assist. Is that why he doesn't want to sign? I'll leave that to Husam when he comes back. Arsenal won't pay the end of the window tax.
Exactly.
I'll be so disappointed, to be honest with you guys. I'll be so disappointed if Arsenal don't sign anyone.
You're
To be
telling
honest
them.
with you.
They live that.
I will be,
disappointment.
you know why I'll be so disappointed? Because I believe that I can see a title race. I can see Arsenal go to the quarterfinal of the Champions League or something like that. I believe with Kai Havertz up top, I think they leave themselves with zero chance of like minimum chance to win the Premier League. Even if you know that even if Liverpool slip, Arsenal are not
We won't be able
capitalizing.
to take
with Kai
advantage.
Havertz.
No.
Yeah. Arsenal are not. With
Yeah.
Kai Havertz, that is not happening. Unless some Arsenal fans still think that Kai Havertz will replicate that form of end of last season. That would be crazy.
Oh God.
She's losing her mind. It's fine.
No.
Sam, can you answer the
Well,
super chat, please?
Sam, by the way, Mathys is going to Spurs for 60 million.
He's gonna flip shit. Right, he's doing the prayer thing.
He said,
Can you
"What?"
answer? Can you answer this super chat before I tell you the news that happened over the past when we were praying? تقبل الله يا أخي.
Yes, what's the question? The question is
It's this. The
He has,
Salah contract.
he has committed career suicide. That's my answer. He has
No,
committed.
the Salah contract include bonuses for every goal and assist.
He has committed career suicide.
Yeah,
Yes,
Habibi,
he
look
does
at the
have,
screen.
yes, he does have. He has bonuses for him, and rightfully so, because he's the king. So let him have bonuses. Anyway, I'm gonna go because I have to go start my stream.
Yeah. And we're gonna finish the stream in the next 2 minutes once you start. Yeah. Listen, there is nothing. There's only the Man City. Everyone is expecting a draw. And by the way, if Liverpool win against Bournemouth away and Arsenal draw Man City, I think خلاص we'll do the shows without the title race titles, and that's it. خلاص. From that point on, it's over. People should give it up. I'm being serious, by the way. For Arsenal fans, like, no, we still have chance. No, Liverpool are away. So that's what I'm saying.
So this is
you
it.
know what?
This is
That's
it.
what
Then.
I'm saying. Well, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. If Arsenal go and fork the money for Oli Watkins today or tomorrow, he's registered. He plays Sunday. Liverpool play Bournemouth away from home, which is a very tough ground. Liverpool lose points and Arsenal win. Arsenal are literally 3 points behind Liverpool. Now you start chasing. But if Arsenal don't sign a striker, they're putting themselves in a place of like, well, we didn't even try. And that is what is annoying. We didn't even try. We went for Oli Watkins and we didn't even try, which is...
Because I guarantee if we score a goal this weekend,
we'll win.
It'll be a defender. It'll be Calafiori or Gabriel. It will not be Sir Havertz. It'll not be Sterling. It will not be these guys. They're not scoring. So.
Why do people think I'm...
By the way, they just tweeted again, Mathys still hasn't made a decision to join Spurs, so still...
Because Fabrizio's waffling?
No, I think he
so
wants. I think he wants a better team to come in for him. Yeah. I think he's stalling a little bit. I think Spurs are desperate, and then he wants either Manchester United or Arsenal to come in. Baby, don't wait for us.
It's better to join the 12s than the 15th. Yes.
Well, it's a better name. He wants to join the Red Cartel. He's not trying to,
Like, why would you join Spurs when you could go to either United or Arsenal? Come on.
Well, yes, I agree with you. Of course, United is way more attractive than Spurs. It's not even. I don't think they sit on the same table at all. It's not the same planet. But Arsenal. By the way, the problem is with this agreement between Spurs and freaking Bayern Munich. Now, if Arsenal want him or Man United, they have to pay 60 million euros.
Yeah,
and Arsenal are now paying 60 million euros for the guy. That's not happening. It's absolutely not happening. And unless Man United sell Garnacho for 60 million or 70 million, they are in pain for you, my man.
We need to sell Garnacho now. Act. Mikel Delaney just tweeted that he prefers a move to Manchester United. Bro, he wants us, and we're so fucking broke. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. We're getting outspent by Spurs.
And see, Arsenal are monitoring somebody's other 16-year-old goalkeeper. What I tell you, Mo?
No way.
What I tell you?
Just new, bro.
I know my club.
You know what? Last thing I'm going to say on the show before we end, just before I actually say that, Staffy TV in the description. She knows Arsenal in the description as well. Doing great content, both of them. Husam, of course. The problem with Arsenal, because every time I hear the Arsenal PR, I have this feeling, like, if I don't know football, I'm not watching the Premier League, the Arsenal have won the league like twice in the last 3 years, and they're building for the future. That's how you, like, if you don't know who won the Premier League and you just walked in and you're reading the league, you're like, oh, this is the team that dominate. They're attracting now young talent. They don't want to sign the experienced one because their team are full of winners. So it's great to have a 16 years old. Yeah, let's get the talent. I'm like, bro, win first before I attract the 16 years old. It's crazy. But listen, people, don't go anywhere and stay here because Husam has LB.
Can I just say something before you end? I just find it disgraceful that today elite European football is being played, and you did not mention it once today.
Guys, Man United today play a team that I don't know who we are playing.
Some of the Conference League.
I don't think they don't play today. Conference League
Thursday nights is where it's at. Real men's football, but Mo doesn't feel like mentioning that. So just wanted to call him out for that.
Whoa.
Hey, listen, I play a team today that I know nothing about. You know how much I struggled to create a thumbnail yesterday? I had to look up that team, look at their players, and find actually a picture that has enough pixelation where I can use it on the thumbnail.
I know that pain where you're like, who is this?
Staffy.
You go to Fort Mob and see who scored the most for this team because you never watched him. And then you put
some Italian I'll go find his old Italian team and he played for Fiorentina, but I couldn't find a good picture.
Staffy, what you have to do is, it says FCSB. just take away the S and just put FCB, and then you can just
I did that, and every time I
Barcelona.
looked at their players, they showed me FCB, aka Barcelona. So I saw Neymar, Messi, and I'm like, why do I see these pictures? That's not who I'm looking for.
Hold on. Where does this team play? Where is this team from?
Andrew Tate FC, aka Romania.
Romania. Oh, all right. Okay.
I think I'll watch for like the head loss that will happen when you guys concede that goal to like a nondescript team. I'll tune in just for that because you guys.
But you know what's annoying? That if we win, we could potentially finish second, and if we lose, we'll probably be in the playoffs.
Wait,
there's no middle ground. We either go second, or we go all the way in the bottom.
Wait, this is Steaua Bucharest. Everyone knows Steaua Bucharest, man.
This is not Steaua Bucharest, are they?
Isn't it? This is Steaua Bucharest.
Is it?
It's
I don't know. They haven't changed their name. It's Steaua Bucharest. Everyone knows that. That's a heritage team, bro. That's have heritage more than heritage than Arsenal.
So I have an excuse if we lose. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. I have my game.
More heritage than Arsenal.
That was unnecessary, man.
It is.
Anyway, this heritage thing has been boring. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you people. This is it for me today.
Watch along later. I'll see you guys then.
Staffy, watch FCB.
I won't be following up the shit, I promise you.
All right.
Wait,
FCB
actually, wait.
versus
Before we go, they've won the Champions League, Steaua Bucharest. So the team that you're saying you don't actually know them, have actually won the Champions League before.
They have more heritage than
I
you.
didn't know it was still Bucharest. I was like, who is this FCSB team?
See, you don't know ball like me, then.
Yeah, Khalas, I'm sorry. And by the way, Morata went to Galatasaray, so get ready for Rashford ball, guys. Not going nowhere now.
And Man City are signing another player right back, Italian international. We'll see you guys soon. And we are out of here, people.